Any other comments from the public?
Hi, Mr. Clark. This is Angela. And I'm going to be reading some of the written comments that have come in. Just to let you know that as of 6 o'clock, there had been 58 comments that had come in on the Google form, and more have come in since then. At that time, 6 o'clock, out of the 58 that had come in, 53 comments were against grading and 5 were in favor of grades, and there were 2 other neutral comments. So in the interest of time, I'm going to read representations, 2 comments from each of those categories that reflect the sentiment. So we'll start with a comment from Jessica Bolanos Wood. I write to you as a former FCUSD student, employee, and community member. It is critical that we shift away from the traditional grading system during the COVID-19 crisis. Yes, a crisis. We are in a global pandemic that is affecting all of us differently. I've had students trying to write essays on their cell phones, families of 12 where older siblings are caretakers, students who are homeless, families with sick elderly members, students who cannot learn because translators are not available, and students who are risking their health and working essential jobs because their finances demand it. I can tell you countless stories. This is not a time to try and get an accurate depiction of student work and effort. The only thing letter grades will reflect is a measure of privilege, not mastery or learning. Yes, we believe all of our students are capable and able to succeed given the tools. However, what we have now is a crisis where the tools have been taken away, privileges heightened to those who have them, and inequities made larger for our most vulnerable populations. If we really want grades, give all students an A for this term. That will satisfy everyone. I urge you to please listen to what experts across the nation are saying, that care and protection of our students' well-being must come first. Universities across the nation have already said that spring 2020 grades will not be factored in, so why must we put our teachers in a position to make a judgment? Please be on the right side of history so FCUSD can look back and say it stood with all of our students and families. This is an unprecedented time, and we don't know what will happen a year from now. However, we do know what can happen now. This is your moment. Thank you for all you do. Next comment submitted by Jordan Kaitapu, and I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I'm Jordan Kaitapu, 2-year president of Cordova High's Black Student Union. I advocate for fellow students to help promote a constructive and healthy learning environment and to ensure that we all have the tools and resources necessary to succeed. It would be negligent on my part as a youth leader to ignore the known impacts of this sudden and dramatic change to students' lives. Not only are Black students and students of color statistically at a disadvantage compared to their peers in regards to access to reliable internet, which we all depend on to complete these assignments, but also for their mental health. Considering it is not a secret that students' mental health has been challenged due to existing conditions at home, or that they are forced to physically distance themselves from their friends and family, it is not fair to test their overall productivity in reference to assignments many of us struggle to find motivation to complete. There is a direct correlation between students' mental and emotional well-being to their performance academically. Traditional grades in this climate do not test levels of intelligence and are not an accurate representation of effort, just merely a measurement of the amount of resources accessible to students. Black youth is 20% more likely to experience mental illness during times where toxic stressors are higher, putting them and their educational career at risk. Therefore, they are disproportionately impacted during this pandemic. To punish students for not having the ability to perform well based on already skewed standards and lack of proper resources is negligent. A solution would be to drop letter grades from our educational policies completely to attempt to level the field for all students, regardless of the resources they may or may not have.